want to read you a letter that was sent to Grant Shapps, Defence Minister. And this falls in line with what we've been talking about, the military and industrial complex. And there was, I'll just read the letter, and I need to read it to you rather than just kind of paraphrase it, because it's important. It includes some very, very, very important stuff. Now, if you think, oh, Adrian, what we're talking about the military for? Because if you allow these idiots to get away with this kind of thing, your children or your grandchildren will be told, here's a gun, there's a uniform, go fight. Do you want that for your kids? At least they can wear a rainbow. So here's the letter, and I quote as I read. Dear Secretary of State, as retired senior officers of the Crown with experience of senior command, we feel compelled to write to you with a sense of sadness, incredulity and anger, having viewed astonishing evidence of the depth and pervasiveness of the racist and intolerant diversity, equality and inclusivity ideology being pushed within HM Armed Forces. We see these facts as so they are, as the perpetration of monumental self-harming and, as such, a real and present threat to national security that will give aid and comfort to the King's enemies. The sheer scale of what is reported is scarcely believable, and it cannot be ameliorated by small adjustments. It requires root and branch removal, and we call upon you to order this in pursuit of your primary duties to provide for the sure defence of our islands and citizens. I think you find it subjects. We're subjects of the Crown. Nothing could be better calculated to destroy the esprit de corps of our armed forces than this poisonous farrago of nonsense, or to deter from serving the Crown precisely the type of people most motivated and apt to our high calling. Ours is a tolerant country, and this obsessive racializing of everything is both disgusting and reprehensible. As you spelled out in your Lancaster House speech, correctly in our view, we live in pre-war times. And Britain faces an ominous and darkening international scene with armed forces that are under-equipped, undermanned, and underfunded as we were back in the 1930s. Among the lunacy of pushing woke ideas around, the use of gender-neutral pronouns, or allowing male soldiers to wear makeup or flowing locks on parades to accentuate their feminine side. We pick out the wickedness of a policy to dilute security vetting in order to boost representation of ethnic minorities. With Islamism and other extremism rampant, this is nothing short of a dangerous madness. The cry for diversity has been utterly misunderstood. Within a military culture, what is to be sought above everything else is the delivery of fighting power in order to defeat the King's enemies, together with the greatest uniformity of excellence and diversity of opinion. Nothing else matters. The memorial gates on Constitution Hill are an object lesson of the unforced unity in all their diversity of Imperial and Commonwealth armies in defence of freedom. To remove Christianity from acts of remembrance is also a particular insult to our ancestors, who fought and died to lead the world in ending slavery and twice in the last century to save our islands from conquest by extreme regimes. No one should need to be reminded that this is a welcoming, inclusive, and basically Christian country. Our civic culture on 11th of November is sacred, Christian, tolerant, and inclusive on our terms. The Russians, Iranians, and Chinese will be observing our descent into self-hatred and obsessing over diversity and inclusion with glee. These intolerable policies are forcing the British Armed Forces into moral disarmament, and it cannot stand. We call on you as Secretary of State for Defence immediately to cleanse our military culture of these poisonous ideas and to order a complete reset back to our core values of patriotism and unity that for generations made our armed forces the envy of the world. To preserve and deepen military culture, discipline and efficiency, the Ministry of Defence should be exempted from the public sector equality duty as specified in the Equality Act 2010. We are not civil servants, but fighting forces. Yours, Major General Julian Thompson, OBE, Lieutenant General Sir Henry Beverley, OBE, Brigadier David Chaundler, OBE, Major General Tim Cross, CBE, Lieutenant General Sir James Dutton, CBE, Major General Malcolm Hunt, OBE, Colonel Richard Kemp, CBE, Rear Admiral Roger Lane Knott, CBE, Lieutenant General Sir Hugh Pike, MBE, Lieutenant General Jonathan Riley, MC, Colonel Ewan Sotheby Taylor, OBE, and Major General Nick Vaux, DSO.